Hour of Gower, GowerLaw.com. Kiss 107.1 is WTLC Saginaw with Steve Harvey in the morning.
Mornings can't get no better. It's the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
And simply the best R&B all day.
Y'all be jamming?
Listen live on your smartphone, in your car, at work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on this show by the host, its guest, or call-ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station, the staff, its owners, connoisseur media, or its advertisers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I'm glad to have you all with us on today. Those of you who are coming in the social media platforms, I want you to like, tag, and share this conversation with those in your community. Shout out to my man, Orlando Jones. You are the first person in the social media stream. So good to see you continually coming in, sharing in the dialogue and the conversation that we are having today. And so we'll give a shout out to the rest of you that are coming in. Let's populate this audience. Today, we're going to talk about community violence. It has been something we've seen in a serious uptick in the number of shootings in our community, although homicides are down. I said that either means that Covenant Healthcare is doing a great job or some people are just a poor shot. And it's sad either way that we have to be talking about this in the manner that we are. But that will be our conversation on today. I got a couple brothers in the studio with me today. You will hear from our inspiration lady, Amaya Bradley. She'll be here. Girl, you make things happen, sharing a little bit of inspiration. But we're going to just kind of address the issue that is at hand. How do we begin to move forward? What do we deal with? How do we get the community involved? A part of the solution to this problem means that we have to organize. We got to do some people moving. We got to do some community organizing. We've got to do some collaboration. All words that you've heard before, but it's going to be very important for us to do that. First of all, I want to give a shout out to all of my graduates, 2026 graduates that are out there. My very own, she is a Delta Sigma Theta. My niece, Miss Tyra Walker, congratulations on your MSW. From Saginaw Valley State University. Also, Miss Hayes out there, Melissa Hayes, shout out to you as well. Congratulations on your BSW. I'm so proud of all of you that are doing this great work. I think I had about 10 seniors graduating this year from Saginaw Valley State University, and it's great. They are launching out into a new world, a very uncertain world in so many ways, but hey, it is a great accomplishment. And so we celebrate all of you that are out there. So shout out to you, Tyra. She's not only graduating this year with her MSW, but she also is going to be exchanging her wedding nuptials. And I'm super duper excited to be a part of that. She is an amazing young woman, her and her fiance, TJ Parham. So we're nephew and niece. I'm so glad you all are getting ready to do some great things. Shout out to everybody who's in the stream out there on today. And also
Avari Brooks.
Hey, congratulations. She is a senior graduating this year as well. So many seniors, they're graduating from college. We're going to do the seniors at a later day. I want to allow you parents and supporters out there who have seniors that are graduating. I want to give you guys an opportunity when we get to those high school graduations to be able to come in and to do your own well wishes, your own shout outs to your high school seniors. And we're just going to make it really, really, really special. So we're going to get into our conversation. But before we do that, I want to bring in two brothers that are in the social media stream. They're here to talk community violence intervention, but I got to talk about the crimes against Black America right now before we do anything else. Good afternoon, good evening, Antonio Brooks. How you doing, my brother?
I'm great. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. And then also Jeffrey Bulls, aka Saginaw Cap. What's going on, Jeff?
Man, not too much. How you doing?
Man, if you're feeling like I'm feeling it, Jeff, when these things happen, there's certain people that when certain conversations or certain things take place, they come to mind automatically. When this decision, the 6-3 decision by the Supreme Court was passed down, essentially gutting the Civil Rights Voting Rights Act, you were one of the people I thought about it like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I know my boy is having one. He's on one right now. Jeff, let's talk a little bit about what took place and just what are you thinking and how are you feeling? It's not a surprise.
Not at all.
But the reality of it, because we saw them chipping away at it, the reality of it taking place, what does it make? What does it bring? How are you feeling?
Of course, anger. Of course, a lot of different emotions, anger, disappointment, but also, surprisingly, I shifted into opportunity mode.
Okay,
this is another opportunity for us to, sound the alarm in our community, because a lot of people don't believe that we're under attack, and we're under attack,
yes,
clearly. And so, this is yet another opportunity to tell our folks that we're under attack, and it's time to work. And that's where my mind state is. It's time to work.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. For those of you who have not been staying locked in, and I hate this, but if you don't know what's going on and what we're talking about, the 1965 Voting Rights Act essentially has been completely upended. The Civil Rights Voting Rights Act, which was really basically it ensured like 100 years after slavery had ended, we went through this period of Jim Crow and all of these the black laws, black codes, and Jim Crow and everything else. Essentially, they didn't mind. Well, they did mind setting us free. Let me correct that one. They set us free, but did not want to give us the ability to have a vote that mattered. There were so many instances and things that were put in place to keep Black American vote from voting, literally riding to polling places on horses and pulling folks out of line and shotguns and everything that you possibly could do to keep Black people from the ballot box.
Poll taxes.
Mm-hmm. You came and you didn't have proof that your identification, and we don't, you don't, just all kinds of anything imaginable. They would let them come in. Most of them would walk, and then you get there and they say, you're at the wrong polling station, and send them somewhere that was, 20, 30 miles somewhere else. And our people fought by walking and actually going the extra mile and continually doing it. Well, when we talk about our vote and the ballot was really fought for blood, sweat, and tears, people gave their life for our right to die. We've said that in our communities with one another. And I saw somebody that said, I'm tired of folks playing with our dead ancestors in our face.
Dr. Eddie Claude.
That's who said it. Absolutely. And that's where I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling in this moment. And so the the Voting Rights Act essentially said that all of these practices that were really created that targeted Black folks were illegal. So race and all of those things could no longer be a part of the voting rights process. You could not discriminate along race. Things that essentially were a part of the system, rules that were created that did not fare well or were leaning against races. All of those kinds of things were eliminated. So you had to make sure that if you did something, it did not disproportionately affect a minority the Black population in a way that encumbered their vote or stopped them from being able to vote. And so I say that because after the Black people were allowed to vote, other folks also got their right to vote. So all of America should be outraged by this. If you are not a part of the initial voting population and you got your rights through those 13th, 14th, 15th amendments and the other things, the civil rights acts that took place after that, you should be appalled because this means that you're next. And it may not seem like it, but just play around, keep playing. You're going to find out next. But what I see now, so this particular thing says that in order for you to claim discrimination, you had the person basically, essentially, you have to be able to prove it. The person essentially has to say, I'm going to do this as a racist intent, and I'm going to gerrymander these lines. I'm going to do this against Black folks because, and so essentially what they said was that it would be impossible to prove that any discrepancies or disparities or racial intent was ever created because they're no longer looking at the impact or the outcome. They're looking at the mission or how it was implemented. So this is a sad day in America. We said it at the beginning. We were talking Project 2025. Even after that, every single thing that took place, from the staggering loss of jobs by our most educated block of folk that are out there, Black women, even with all of the laws, the attacks on due process, time after time after time, white America was like, no, I think we are equal. And I'm tired of that, Jeff. I'm tired of hearing that things are even now. We had a Black president. How are you feeling about with this current situation, this current time? You said it looks like an opportunity. Tell me about this opportunity. I need something to believe in.
Well, it's an opportunity for us to organize. And as an organizer, I look at all of our problems like that, even our conversation that's coming up. It's always an opportunity to organize. It's always an opportunity for us to tell our people and teach our people what's going on, because a lot of us aren't paying attention. A lot of us, they're out of the loop. And so that's where the opportunity comes in, I believe, especially with our young people, because we've disenfranchised ourselves from the process. They've done a hell of a job, but we're not helping the cause. And so that's where we are now. As bad, as dire as the situation is right now, there is opportunity, and we have to step up. If we don't, we're going to perish. It's just cut and dry. It's that simple. And so it's time. Let's go to work.
So another way, and one of the things I want you to understand, because some people are like, I don't understand what the big deal is about it, but there's something called cracking or packing, which is already an operation. But now what it does is they're packing Black folks into district. We saw this happening. And so essentially, instead of this population of Blacks being here and these Black being here, and that line being drawn that gives power to that district, they're redrawing it so that, this strong population base is now with a majority base, which dilutes the power of that minority vote, which means that we could actually lose. No, not we could. We essentially stand to lose the power of our vote. When people say my vote doesn't matter, that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're essentially trying to make sure that you can go to the poll and blocks of folks, but because your vote has now been sized up in a way where this strong minority population is now being diluted by this larger majority population, they no longer have the ability to vote in someone who actually represents the population from that particular area. And so we have to understand that the answer to all types of injustice are, and you got to look at this, the reason they're coming so hard for your vote is because they want you to lie down. They want you to throw in the towel. They want us to give up. And I said something before. How would I deal if I was in the 1960s? We always say, man, if I was back in Martin Luther King's days, I would do this. Well, essentially you are. I think that America, they may not be pushing us back to slavery, but I think that most of a lot of those, especially those right-leaning MAGA Republicans, are very well cool with a Jim Crow era taking place. Mm-hmm. And that is essentially where we are going. But the way that we combat this crazy nonsense is that we've got to do what our ancestors did. We got to begin to fight. Yes. Jeff talked about community organizing. We got to come together. This is not a time. Churches, lose the badge on your church. We are one Black people. Organizations, lose the title of your organization. We have to begin to come together and really reorder and restructure those coalitions that matter. To my light-skinned brown people out there, I'm talking to the Mexicans out there, this is an opportunity. You say that you were upset, Black people aren't fighting for me, why aren't they standing up? Well, tell you what, we all need to get together now. This is not about you and them. This is not about trying to exercise white privilege or your light-skinned privilege and trying to assimilate. The fact of the matter is, if you didn't know, if you haven't learned by now, that it ain't even about Black and white no more. If you're not rich, you're another. So everybody else is getting treated like the Black man in this world, under this administration. So it's important that we as a people band together, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what your thoughts are, and realize that it is important for us to come together, because there is a midterm that can take place. And we need to pack this thing out. We need to show up. Today was the last day, I think, of early voting. The big day, the big dance for the state election here in Michigan, in the Saginaw area, the mid-Michigan area, Great Lakes Bay region, is taking place on Tuesday for us. That special election Cedric Green against that other dude named Jason Tooney. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And this one is one that we need to coalesce around this. We cannot lose AC. We cannot play partisan politics. We can't say that my person is not there, and I don't think that because we ain't got time for that right now. Right now, we have to show some solidarity around votes that matter. Now, independent or Democrat, I'll tell you what, if they're doing it based upon party politics and they want to put, well, these are Democrats, these are Republicans, go sign up and register to be an independent and then get your vote. Let them be able to cast you that way. But it is important that we stick together. We make this happen. Because when we come together, I see some comments out there. Jimmy Green, accept the time. The robes are black. Absolutely. Well, I've said this before to those of you out there. Whenever black folks have made meaningful progress, it was always the the Supreme Court that has always come and set us back. When we look at Dred Scott and other things, the other choices and decisions that have made, it has always been the black robes, not the white hoods, that have always set us back. And, you know, those of you who are out there, and I want to speak to all of my Trump-looking brothers out there and sisters out there, like Donald Trump is doing more for us. Donald Trump. How you feeling now? Where my black Trumpers at? Where my black MAGA at? Now that we see in full scope what's taking place, I think it's important for us to realize it's time to come to our senses, come to our roots, and get this thing done. Shout out to everybody that's out there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, we're going to talk with these two gentlemen in the studio about community violence intervention. We're going to talk about coming together, building a strong coalition. We're going to talk about attacking this thing called violence at its root. Stick, stay, don't go away. We'll be back with more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. They still gave me a medal. I don't want a reward for doing. I want a reward for dominating. Like Daily Prize Matcher on Bet365. I play for free and win real rewards, like up to $5,000 in cash weekly. Unlike that joker in denim. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in Michigan. T's and C's apply.
Health Formation for You presents the 9th annual Smooth Jazz and R&B benefit concert for Sick of Cell, featuring the Southern Soul sounds of Ghost Ghostin'. Mother's Day, Sunday, May 10th at Horizons Conference Center. Doors open at 3 p.m. Dinner starts at 4. Western attire welcome. Enjoy the dance floor, raffles and giveaways, and a scholarship presentation. Tickets are a $60 donation and can be purchased at Erica's Flowers, 212 South Washington Avenue, and through Zelle at Health Formation U.
Hi, I'm Zoe, a personal stylist at Macy's Herald Square, and I live for our friends and family sale because I can say yes to the brands my customers have been eyeing, like BCBG, 30% off, Kendra Scott, 30% off, Steve Madden, Levi's, yep, 30 off. And yes, there's 15 off Macy's Beauty and Fragrance too. Yes, you can also sign up for Star Rewards and earn faster at Macy's Friends and Family today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring is a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just one dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-550-8841. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-550-8841. That's 800-550-8841. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
At Target, finding something for every kind of mom and every side of mom just got easier. Does she love fashion? Take 20% off select women's clothing and accessories and find a dress she'll love to wear. Is she into the outdoors? Freshen up her favorite spot with up to 40% off planters, pillows, and poofs. Or keep it classic, fresh tulips for just $12 and a Dossier fragrance trio for $32. Whatever mom is into, we've got it. Celebrate mom her way, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com offers you local deals to local businesses for a fraction of the price. Rainy day, RocketGrabPlus.com. Kids board, RocketGrabPlus.com. Have family coming to town, RocketGrabPlus.com. Half off deals to Applied Training Solutions, Captain Dave's Family Center, Saginaw Small Town Scoops, Clayton Cleaners. You can even check out a Detroit Tigers baseball game next month. RocketGrabPlus.com has a new deal every week. Check it often because they do sell out. RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with more Straight Talk. I have in the studio with me Jeffrey Bulls and Antonio Brooks. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we need to be doing. And I need y'all to lean into this conversation. If you're a businessman, if you are a resident, if you're a community organizer, if you're an activist, if you're a politician, a civic leader, a pastor, a pew member, whatever it is, if you have an interest in Saginaw, you're a business owner, whatever it is that you do, you need to lean into this conversation because this conversation impacts you, it involves you, and it requires you to really be involved. Before we get started with this conversation, I want to give an advance shout out to all of our mothers down there out here for next week for Mother's Day. We'll be celebrating moms. Let me see if I can get my mom in the studio with me. DJ Sparkles. See if she can come in with me on next week. And I want to just kind of just say happy, Cinco de Mayo for tomorrow. The parade was this weekend. And I don't know if either of you were there. I know, Antonio, you were there at the parade. How was it?
It was great. It was awesome, man. And you better believe I was out there and shouting, this for Miss Renee. I was telling them we here, so we expect to see y'all at the Juneteenth celebration.
Yeah, no.
I'm so serious.
That's real talk. We had that conversation. We lined the streets for Cinco de Mayo. We lined the streets for the Thanksgiving Day parade or Christmas parade. We lined the streets for the memorial, all of the festivities for the 4th of July. We're out there. And so Juneteenth, Black, Brown, and White America is your opportunity to return the favor, to support another very important day in American history when all of its citizens became a part of this grand US of A. So Juneteenth, when is it going to be? On Juneteenth. But it'll be that week. You'll hear more coming up. The 13th, there's things happening. The 20th, there's stuff happening. But we need our entire community to show up and show out. Let's be
clear. Juneteenth means June 19th.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
June 19th. That's what the day is.
Juneteenth.
Yes.
Y'all know how we do. We always come out and you make it real quick. But anyways, let's turn this conversation over the past couple of weeks. Really, I'll say over the past month. We have done really well and our homicides are down in the Saginaw area. When we say time to date. But what has not gone down and what has been consistent in the past year and is exactly the same today. There's a slight uptick of activity that's been taking place. And y'all know how it is. When it starts getting warm, we be like, they clowning already. Like, what's going to happen this summer?
Sun's out, guns out.
Sun's out, guns out. And I hate to say that, but that seems to be the case. There are so many guns in the world. The United States is the only place that has more guns than it does have residents. There's enough guns for all of us to have 1 or 2 guns and still some left over. So we're living in a community and a society in a time when they're pumping these guns into the street. Back in the 80s and 90s, we had a song, Self-Destruction, You're Headed for Self-Destruction. And people came together to have this conversation. Jeff, community organizer, Cap, you're out there talking about all these things. We're doing food and all these other issues that we're talking about. It's time to have a real conversation about what's happening as it relates to the guns in our community. What's going on in your mind, and what are you thinking before we get to solutions? Where you at?
Well, first of all, I'm not a gun owner. I've never been a fan of guns, and so a lot of people kind of chastise me in that way, or they say I'm biased in this conversation because I don't like guns. But I'm just tired of losing friends. I've lost friends to gun violence all my life, and that's what turned me against them. And so it continues to this day. And now I'm not just losing friends. Now my friends are losing children and grandchildren. And we should be tired at this point. We should be tired. We should be beyond tired. Now it's time to act. We have to do something. Being tired is one thing. And my heart goes out to so many of our people in the greater Saginaw community, and even around the state and around the country, that have lost and continue to lose loved ones to gun violence. It's unfathomable to continue down this road without doing something more so than what we've done. I've come to a place in my life where I've drawn the line. I'm a community person at heart. I'm an organizer. And so I've drawn the line. Either you want to be in a community that's clean, safe, and quiet, or you got to go. I don't want to, go back and forth with it or delve in the gray area anymore. It's one or the other. Either you want to be in a clean, safe, quiet community, or you got to go. And I'm going to do everything in my power to get you out of my community. If you're not acting right, if I can't let my children out in the front yard to play, we got a problem. And it involves a drastic solution. I don't want to nibble around the edges anymore. We have to do something drastic, and that's where I'm at.
Prime Man McGruff used to say, "Take a bite out of crime." We got to do something. Stop nibbling, and let's take a bite out of it. Antonio, go ahead. You were jumping in, and you were kind of agreeing with Jeff when he was talking about his time.
Absolutely.
To shut up or put up.
Absolutely, because that ties into what we was talking about with the initiative that we have with our illustrious state fire marshal Ralph Martin. Heading the neighborhood safe zone initiative, and Jeff Bullis has somewhat of a similar idea. I think that teaming up on that will definitely have an impact on what's going on in our community.
No, absolutely. I think it's super duper important, and I'll say this. When we look at this and we look at those numbers, gun violence is the leading cause of death for Black men ages 15 to 45. So if you fall within that framework, you're more likely to die to gun violence than you are to cancer. And knowing how devastating and how many people, cancer is everywhere, right? That shows you the real magnitude of the impact of gun violence in our community. It seems like somebody is always being like, you look up, somebody's got cancer. Yeah. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for young people, for Black folks ages 15 to 45. Now, I'll say this. When we had the National Institute of Criminal Justice Reform come in, we were able to partner them. Our organization helped. We partnered with them. They did an assessment, bringing people into the community and talking about this. And what they realized, they targeted, and I thought that they were wrong when I looked at it, but the data shows it, that the average age of individuals who are highest risk or most involved with gun violence are at the age of 30. So just beyond that 20-something, not quite really, what are you really getting grown? You're still wet behind your ear. My grandmother said you still got milk on your breath. So what do you think are some of the things? We know what the indicators are, what those key issues are. But let's talk about those, Jeff. When we talk about the things, the issues, the petri dish that leads to gun violence, let's talk about some of those factors.
Sure. For me, the number one thing that drives it might not be the direct cause, but the driver is poverty.
Yeah.
And I talk about it in every forum I can get into. We don't address poverty. And until we do that, it's going to continue to drive this conversation and many other conversations, because in poverty, people are desperate. And desperate people do desperate things, good and bad. You can grow up with a perfect moral center, but desperation will get you off your moral center and get you to consider some other things. And so, it's kind of the Maslow hierarchy of needs. If I don't have nothing to eat, if my kids don't have nothing to eat, I got to go get it. And so we have to address poverty. We have to address, the people that are struggling. And look at that right now. I mean, gas is $5 a gallon.
Wow.
What you think is going to happen? If I make $10 an hour and gas is $5, people are going to get desperate.
Man, I'm going to tell you, you're saying that, and I'm going to tell you, this is the honest God truth. I pulled out my Cadillac. I'm not talking about my car. I'm talking about my bike.
Mm-hmm.
and I dusted it off, and I took the front tire off because it was low. And I'm going to take it in and get that tire fixed, because some of these things that I'm doing just recreational, hey, going to see my cousins, going to holler back, I'm going to get on my bike, man, because it is impossible. Now, you talk about, first of all, the taxes, the additional tax that we're paying because of the things that are happening in terms of our trade wars, right? Yep. So that is called our inflation to stay high, and it's called prices of goods to increase. We're now paying an additional tax because, it's not the businesses that are paying the tax. That's a pass-through tax.
Yep.
So it goes right to the price of goods. So you're going to pay more for what you would normally have, right? In addition to that, we are now seeing this war really take a toll on the prices of gasoline at the pump. But the sad thing about this, and this happens all of the time, there are people who are becoming billionaires that are inside this administration because they know what's going on, and they're playing this game, understanding that we as the everyday person are going to be the ones who are going to suffer. Yep. Increased gas prices. We saw that those Obamacare subsidies have dropped. When I tell you that the price of my health insurance, I pay mine personally, doubled. They said, "Oh, this is not yours. We've recalibrated. Now you're paying $1,000 a month for your health insurance." And that's just medical. That doesn't include dental and the other stuff that's out there. I thank God that I'm able to do that. But what about those families out there who are struggling? And the thing about this, we think that everybody wants to just get on Medicaid and Medicare. There is such a large piece of our community that has a sense of pride and desires. I want to pay my way. I don't want to take a handout from anybody. So they're what we call ALICE population, right?
Yep.
Asset limited, income constrained, employed, essentially the working poor. Can you imagine what doubling the cost of your health care are if your job does not give you health care? And then in addition to that, you're paying more for regular consumer goods. Right. So you're going to get deodorant and toothpaste and things, the essentials that you absolutely need, and everything costs more. You got to eat. Now you're going in and they're doing all kinds of things to take away food support from families. That's one of the reasons why you guys are leaving out with this food insecurity. You did a food distribution this weekend. Somebody said, well, SNAP benefits are back, but there are people with SNAP is not as much. It ain't snapping like it used to snap.
No.
You go in and now you're getting less for what you used to pay for. No. And then you have those families who are on fixed incomes. I look at my seniors out there who are on fixed incomes, trying to make ends meet. And I pray for those seniors who are trying to be self-reliant. Yep. They want to live by themselves. They want to be able to have their car and still own that freedom of being able to drive. So they got insurances. Consumers is going crazy. It is all increased. And then you add to it the exorbitant increase in the price of gas.
Yes.
This could be debilitating for any single family. And so when we talk about poverty being one of those key indicators, you're absolutely right. What are some other things when we talk about education, when we talk about access? What are some of those other things that are out there, Jeff?
Well, because of poverty, it puts you in a state of desperation, and it causes you to withdraw from community. And to me, community is the offset to everything that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
When we talk about seniors that's struggling to live alone, well, if we cohabitate with our people, that can offset some of your costs. And so I think education, you just brought it up. I think that's probably the best thing that we need to do. We need to have these conversations, because if we don't have these conversations and we stay in our silos, I'm going to struggle over here. You're going to struggle over here. And we're not going to get back to community and actually start to help each other, get through this period of time, because it's a period of time. I mean, as long as this country has been here, we've had ebbs and flows, we've had ups and downs, and nobody knows struggle like Black people. Like we've weathered, every storm this country has ever endured, and so this is yet another one.
Hey, we will take a struggle and make it great. There are folks out there eating. We love pork rinds, and I was going to say chitlins. Hog head cheese. They call it sauce when they got pig feet, and we do these things because it's a struggle, right? Yeah. And we've been able to take a struggle and really work with it. Yeah. And nobody has been as resilient as African-American descendants of slaves in this country. Jeff, not Jeff, but Antonio, I want to talk to you when you look at it, because you do a lot of work with our young people in this community. You talk to the younger generation of older folks as well, the young old heads. And you see what's happening in the streets. You hear the conversation. We've been having these conversations. Right. What is the thing that you're hearing as to why this situation with guns is proliferating?
So today it was one of my juvenile days. So I went in and I do the groups. I do 2 groups. And one of the things that I spoke with the young people about, age group like 12 to 17 years old in there. And I talked to them about Tupac a little bit. So you remember on the Tupac movie, his mama said, baby, they're going to give you all the tools you need to destroy yourself. Absolutely. And so I told them that. And I said, so let's name some of these tools. And I wanted them, I make them think about the tools. And so if you will allow me to tell you a few of the tools.
Share the tools, Brother Antonio.
Now, this is from the mouths of them personally. One of the tools is guns, drugs, influence. I said, so influence, that's like a tree branch. We could branch off. So they started talking about rappers, the King Vons, the Lil Durks, and their stories and how, they got killed and stuff like that. Family members, social media, TV, all of that type of stuff. The influence, alcohol, right here, poverty, what you just brought up, Jeff Bulls. I'm like, you're right, because they talking about the abandoned schools, the abandoned houses that they see, broken spirits, the negativity that they get. It's a lot of stuff that these kids that they experiencing, and we not talking to them and learning what's really ailing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not only that, but this generation suffers with something that we never had to deal with. No. And I say this. Everything operates at warp speed these days. We talk about how the world is moving so fast and how days are just kind of, oh my goodness, it's already it's May. But if you think about we say, man, if somebody says something about you, walk away. It don't matter. They don't know you. But what happens when they post it? Right. And you're not just embarrassed by your immediate circle of friends, but now you become a spectacle across, the community. Now it's like, tagged, and shared, and a post that could be embarrassing now becomes a global, it goes viral and people are looking all over. And so we say, why are they getting all upset with each other? Everything's on social media. It is because before, if we both like the girl, me and Jeff like the same girl, we would do what we want to impress that girl, and our immediate friends would know that that's what's happening. But now one person posts something about the other individual. Now everybody in the school knows about it. And so now there is a pressure that increases because what you gonna do about it, Floyd? What you gonna do? And so there's these pressures that are created by this new thing called social media, which elevates and escalates. And oh man, it goes down in the chats. These group chats, and we're dealing with young people all the time. I can tell you almost 9 times out of 10, these things that end up where people are pew each other. When we go back and we get involved and we sit down, and we've done this a number of times, sit down and talk with the people that are involved, they start in the group chat. Jeff, have you guys been having these conversations? I know you guys have been talking about the state of Black America, but have we had strong conversations about the negative impact on our community, and particularly young Blacks, when it comes to social media and these group chats, technology?
Yeah, we've had some conversations, and then personally, I have a young 18-year-old.
You certainly do.
And so I catch some of it at home as well, and it presents a whole different perspective for me, because like you said, we didn't grow up with it. That wasn't a part of my upbringing and how I've come to be myself. And so that's a part that is their world. My son doesn't even hardly go anywhere. His world is on these devices. And so, that brings
travels the world and never leaves the living room.
Never leaves home, never even leaves his room.
There you go. Let's put
let
it back
alone
in
the
room.
house. And so it does bring us to a place where we have to have a different conversation, and we have to talk to them. I think we've been talking about them for far too long.
Yeah.
We need to talk to them because they're very smart. As far as I'm concerned, they're more advanced than I. At 12 years old, I had no concept of a lot of the things that they deal with. Like, I guess I was just naive, but for them, they've been exposed to so much. And so we can have a better conversations with them than, an adult could have had with me at the same age. And so I think it's time for us to really delve in and bring them in and actually have a real conversation. That's something that us with Saginaw Cap, we're trying to do. We actually have a fellowship that we're doing, with young people that's probably from 12 to 18. And so, they're having those conversations in that fellowship. And so we got to do more of it.
Jeff, we did, and this is a Saginaw Community Violence Intervention Council, help led out. We partnered with Delta College this year, and we brought the entire council in with Professor Larson out there from Delta College. And this semester they studied community violence. And at the end of this, which was just this past Friday or the last Friday, they gave their final outcomes. And when those young people, they were given the mic and they had to produce, they looked at what we were doing. They did interviews with organizations that were involved in community violence intervention. They studied with research partners. They did research themselves. And what they said was, we want a seat at the table.
Yes.
And they were like, how can all this stuff happen? Like you said, everyone does it for us, but nobody does it with us. And so out of there, a community violence intervention council for young people is being birthed. A policy, how do we impact change, is going to be birthed out of there. We've been dealing with the Saginaw Community Foundation. But what I want to see our community do is to really come together and embrace this concept of young people taking ownership of the things that are in their community. Because I'll tell you this, we've had a number of times, a number of opportunities in our organization, Help Community Violence, where we have been able to actually interrupt violence from taking place. Real bullets, real guns, real situations, real targets. And we've been able to bring them in and have these conversations, but we could not have done that if it were not for the young people who we care for every day, who are on Instagram, who are in the group chats, who are on Snapchat and having these conversations. If they weren't bold enough to say, yo, I know that cat, let me pull him in. And we don't know them. So we're really depending on these young people and the relationships that they have, bringing these people into these spaces where we can have these conversations. And we've been able to dead some of those things.
It's working.
It's working.
It's working.
If the average age, and I need us to think about this, because we become aware of the fact that we need to do something and make an impact, and we got to stop the violence, right? We're not doing that at 20 years old. We're not doing it at 30 years old. We're about 55, 60 years old. Like, let's go out here and stop the violence. But what we don't realize is that we are largely irrelevant at that age. And yes, we're dealing with the population. I said, the average age here in Saginaw is 30, and it may turn slightly younger. We're not dealing with folks who are 32, like 22 to 32, we're missing the part. If we're not working with young people who are 15 to 22 and having those conversations, we're missing a lot of the information that's happening. There are conversations that are happening right under our nose, and we don't understand the symbolism, or we can't uncode the words that they're talking about.
Absolutely.
And so it's important for us, when we have these conversations, we got to begin to bring young people to these tables. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more of Straight Talk.
That's good.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
We all know moms work hard. Easy to shop for perfect Mother's Day gifts that will show her how much you care. We've got great gifts for mom. Spend more time outdoors with our impressive selection of patio furniture. Whether relaxing in style or adding color and beauty to a backyard space. Trust Menards to help you make this Mother's Day just as special as she is. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
When you think Hard Rock, you think music. But when you think Hard Rock Bet Casino app, you should be thinking rewards.
That's because on Hard Rock Bet, you get guaranteed rewards every single Thursday, deposit matches, bonus spins, and more.
Just open up the Hard Rock Bet Casino app and see what you get. Legendary play, legendary rewards.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us, Michigan. Offered by Seminole Hard Rock Digital LLC. All rewards issued as non-withdrawable site credits. Must be 21 plus and present in Michigan to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Terry Pruitt, president of the Saginaw NAACP, inviting you to join us on Sunday, May 3rd at 3 o'clock p.m. The NAACP May membership meeting will take place at the Victorious Believers Ministries Church, 624 South Outer Drive. You can also view the meeting on the Saginaw NAACP Facebook page. The Men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated will serve as our co-hosts for this meeting. We're inviting Jennifer Gino, Talent Pathways and Workforce Readiness Leader from Hemlock Semiconductor, and Letitia Whitehead, Assistant Principal at the Saginaw Career Complex, to join us with information about career opportunities at the Hemlock Semiconductor facility and career programs for students at the Saginaw Career Complex. Again, join us at the Victorious Believers Ministries Church, 624 South Outer Drive, or join us virtually on the NAACP Facebook page on Sunday, May 3rd at 3 o'clock p.m.
Stormmaster Exteriors wants to take you out to the ball game. On sale now at RocketGrabPlus.com for just $89. You can ride in comfort on a charter bus to Comerica Park to watch your Detroit Tigers take on the Toronto Blue Jays Sunday, May 17th. You won't have to worry about parking, gas, or traffic. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the game day fun. Spots are limited, so head on over to RocketGrabPlus.com for trip details and to snag your seat.
She was the sister who went unnoticed.
A daffodil might look plain next to a lily, but on its own there is much to be admired.
Now, her greatest chapter is yet to come.
The most important thing is to be yourself.
From the world of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice comes a new BritBox original drama.
Barry, you will flourish.
Based on the best-selling novel, The Other Bennett Sister, now streaming only on BritBox. Watch with a free trial at BritBox.com.
Help, Mother's Day's almost here and I have nothing for Mom.
Relax, sis. Just shop JTV. I already got Mom a gorgeous gold bracelet.
JTV, like jewelry, television, isn't that
amazing? Yes, they have thousands of gift and jewelry ideas and their prices are unreal.
Okay, but how unreal are we talking?
Right now, new customers get $20 off your purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com. Use code DEAL20 now.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner?
Because I'm the mean sister.
It's time to spring into deals for Mother's Day at Lowe's. Shop select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for $15, and get Mom the perfect addition for her garden for less. Plus, get 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil when you buy 3. Mom's garden is winning with these deals. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Have a party coming up? Then skip the stress and the grocery store trades. Right now on RocketGrabPlus.com, Petite Four Pastry in Essexville is offering a $275 pastry party package for just $135. You get a custom-themed half-sheet cake, 24 cookies, 24 mini fruit tarts, plus dozens of bars and treats, enough to feed up to 100 people. You can look like you planned this for weeks. This deal will sell out fast. Grab yours now at RocketGrabPlus.com. Petite Four Pastry in Essexville. Show up like a pro.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Hi, I'm Zoe, a personal stylist at Macy's Herald Square, and I live for our friends and family sale because I can say yes to the brands my customers have been eyeing, like BCBG, 30% off, Kendra Scott, 30% off, Steve Madden, Levi's, yep, 30 off. And yes, there's 15 off Macy's Beauty and Fragrance too. Yes, you can also sign up for Star Rewards and earn faster at Macy's Friends and Family today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with Straight Talk. I'm in the studio with Antonio Brooks and Jeffrey Bulls, and we're having this conversation about community violence. Now, we off script, when we were off air, we were talking about the importance of empowering young people, helping to create a model, set things up, the bases, then turn the reins over to them and allow them to construct and be responsible for that. We see a lot of young people interested in that opportunity. They want to speak. They want to be involved. But old people, and I'm gonna just say this because, you know, y'all look at me and I'm considered young to the community, right? I'm a young guy, but the reality is I'm an unk. To the population that we're trying to talk to, I'm an unk. So if you're older than I am, you grandma, grandpa, you pop. I mean, you're no longer relevant to this conversation. And that doesn't mean that you don't have relevance in terms of how things work out, but it means that we have to understand that you don't even speak the same language that this targeted population is speaking. You have no idea who their icons are. You have no idea what they listen to on the radio. I need a urban thesaurus just to uncode some of the language and the what is it when something means something else. Well, I mean, to translate what they're saying in some of this language. So we often use folks who are 40, 50, 60 years old, or the preacher who's been preaching for 52 years and has a great reputation, but have absolutely no influence with the street level or with this community. So we've got to really begin to do something different. And I see you out there, Jimmy. He's out there on his platform, on his soapbox. The NAACP is a prime example. Transition, a younger leadership group. It's time. Ouch. That hurts, but it's the facts. If you are out there, and I say this over and over again, and you are not training your replacement, and you are not allowing your replacement to do this work with you, then you are essentially a part of the problem. So as we talk about community bonds, we talk about going to the streets, and we talk about what it takes for the community, building out that ecosystem. That means if you are part of the community in any shape, way, or form, you are a part of the answer. We talked about these neighborhoods. We have neighborhood associations, and Jeff, they were trying to come for you for a second when you were talking and really pushing people. If you are fed up with this gun violence, if you say that you want different, then you need to be at the next neighborhood association that is in your area, or shut up. Let's talk about what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, we often say politics is local. Well, addressing neighborhood or community violence is even more local.
Absolutely.
Down to your neighborhood, down to your block, and the couple behind you and the couple in front of you. Like, and that's the message that I've tried to send, publicly, just trying to, really break this conversation down and the solutions down to bare bones, because I think sometimes we assume that people know certain things, and so I've tried to bring that conversation down to the bare bones. Like, let's bring this conversation back to the block, all the way back to the block. Like, you can't worry about the whole city. I'm on the north side. I know a few people on the south side, but I don't know the culture of the south side and what they do over there. I know my neighborhood. And so that's the premise, getting us back to focusing on the neighborhood solutions, what you can do on your block. Let's clean up your block.
Absolutely.
Let's lighten up your block, because a lot of the city is dark. Let's lighten it up. Let's make sure everybody has a camera. The very basics. And so that's what I hope to achieve.
So Jeff, I want to say this. So shout out to Ralph Martin. You mentioned him earlier today. HELP was able to host the NAG meeting. And so we had all the folks from the neighborhood associations come in. And this is what I want to say. It would be great for us to get those presidents of those associations,
yes,
these community leaders, these interrupters, violence interrupters, these empowerment folks, get them all together and say, look, on this day, we want to do this work. We want to share this information. We want to get these things done. We want to tackle this issue in our community, and have every single neighborhood association on a particular Saturday empower their community with that information, have community activists present that can chair and train and empower with tools of how we can stay connected, and have like these powerful sessions that take place same day all across the city. And we use our neighborhood associations as the method by which we communicate and effectuate this change.
Absolutely.
That
And
is-
let's break it down even further.
Go ahead.
Let's empower people in the neighborhood as well. You know, I live on Dillon Street. We should have a black captain for Dillon Street.
Absolutely.
And a black captain for Essling Street. And a black you know, break it down even further, because the more you empower people in the neighborhood to take charge, you don't have to take charge of the whole neighborhood. This block right here, this is you.
And the block captains happen through the process of the neighborhood electing those.
Absolutely. And so I want to say this, because in essence, what we're talking about, we're not talking about anything that's new. We're talking about the way that we're going to deal with violence is to go backwards.
Yes.
We're going to go back to a time when we knew the people who lived next door and the people who lived across the street.
Absolutely.
We're creating an environment where we can have conversations, where we can walk with our neighborhood association and folks in the community, knock on the door. Hey, I'm so-and-so. You're in this neighborhood? We didn't even know you were there. Because now we have so many rental properties in neighborhoods. We got folks who live there. Now they're renting out their home. We don't know who's in that home.
Right.
So what we have to do as a community is we got to get back to community building.
Yes.
That means know who's in our neighborhood. That means talk to those individuals, create an opportunity like we have the coming up the community block party.
Yes.
The community block party is every community in Saginaw, every neighborhood coming together in one location. But this year at the community block party, Jeff, what we really need to be focusing on as well is giving block party kits.
Yes.
So when everyone comes in, what block do you live in? Okay, we want to give you this block party kit. And in this kit is going to be information that you can share, that you can reproduce in your neighborhood, what we're trying to produce here.
Yes.
And help, we'll be willing to partner with you on that, putting together these block party kits so we can talk about community safety. We can talk about building neighborhoods. How do we empower our neighborhood association? How do we engage our young people in our community? What do we do when we see something? Let's begin to take our neighborhood, but it requires us to come together.
Absolutely.
We have become so jacked on building names and creating platforms for ourselves, making sure that our org is represented, making sure that my church is represented, that we have gotten away of the idea of community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what you said about knocking on the door, introducing yourself, because we always get into this mindset of, I don't know them folks, I don't want to know them folks, I'm gonna mind my business. What they do is what they do. We need to start getting back into that concept of my neighbor is my family.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna look out for them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's really important.
And we should, because you know what happens? If a few gunshots go off, everybody gonna come outside.
Better
And
believe
now
it.
we're gonna be like,
Now
now you're gonna be asking your neighbor, what happened? But a person you don't even know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I want to give a number out there for those of you out there. We do have, I think another thing that is so important for neighborhoods is that we have to get past this snitching whole concept. A snitch is somebody who is doing something wrong with you. They get caught and then they turn on you.
Right.
A person who speaks up when they see something in their community is not a snitch. You are a concerned citizen. And like just said, it's time out for letting people jack your neighborhood.
That's it.
Why are so many residents? And we've seen this all over. But I remember my family was living on 940 South 25th Street, and there were some folks who were always creating problems. And the whole neighborhood would talk about the people, but nobody would actively say anything to the people that were starting. So essentially what happened is that this one group of people had the entire block paralyzed with nobody willing to say anything. We have to take ownership of our community. That means that we've got to be willing to say something. I'm going to give you guys a number, because oftentimes we don't want to call the police because the police do some crazy stuff sometimes. You know, you make a complaint and the police will show up at your house before they go to the house. Just, culturally sensitive to some things, right? Yep. And so culturally competent. So there's a number, 888-298-1945, 888-298-1945. That is our help CVI hotline. And what happens is if you see something that looks suspicious, you can call that hotline. This past month, we got 10 calls in from that hotline. You can say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. We then send community people who are bold enough to just kind of check out things. And if we can address the issue ourselves, then we address those issues. If it requires law enforcement, then we make sure that we get law enforcement involved. but the community has to empower itself by taking back ownership. There's something going on in the chat, so you guys want to say something about
I see somebody ask where the block party is located. It's located at New Life Ministries, and they have a park across the street from them that they manage, and it's called Mission in the City Park. That's where it's located.
Is this year number 4?
This is year number 4.
Yeah, so I remember we were sitting here and we were having this conversation. Are we on the grill again?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Please do.
So New Life Church. If you go out there, the big chess park, the big basketball court right there on the corner of 6th and was it 6th and
6th and
James?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
right there.
Real quick, can I say something?
Yeah.
Full circle. The meeting that you were supposed to be at is the meeting where I met him.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for
That's
Just
crazy.
Bulls, I probably wouldn't have been a part of this organization. I want to say thank you, but that's full circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't know really nobody at that table. And he was like, man, probably be a good meeting. I can't make it. Go sit in for me. And then we established a relationship and became brothers, man.
Yeah. So,
that's a great story.
So this is happening. Once again, the address. Do you have that address again?
I don't have the address.
It is New Life Missionary
um,
Baptist Church.
Yes.
And I think that their address is 1401 North 6th Avenue.
Well, it's James. It's James.
James Street. James Street.
1401. That sounds right. 1401 James Street.
1401 James.
Right by Stop and Shop. If you know the neighborhood, it's right by Stop and Shop.
Right there. Come out. There's games, food, community. I mean, we literally had over 1,000 people there these past couple of years. This year's going to be better.
Bigger and better.
So if you're interested in getting involved, Jeff, how can, because you guys are managing that. The people over there, the Brothers that Help, are always on the grill. But go ahead. How are you guys managing?
Oh man, it's going to be great. This is our 4th year. Man, yep. The address is 1401 James Avenue, right there in the heart of the East Side. Another great event planned. We'll have entertainment again. Last year we had Charles Allen and the Vibe out there on stage, and DJ Eric, he was out there spinning the tunes. We had help on the grill, serving the kids. A lot, and the park already has amenities there that the kids, the whole family can enjoy. The whole family. I'm talking baby.
Shout out to Pastor Tatum.
Yes. Shout out to Pastor Tatum, Mission in the City, and his crew. Man, they are amazing with hosting us. They agreed to partner with us 4 years ago. Saw a vision and let us come in, and man, we're so grateful. And so we're looking forward to the 4th annual community block party. Come out. Vendors are free. The nonprofit vendors are free. But we want food trucks. We want everybody that either sells goods or offers services. Please come out and join us for a good time.
Yeah, and so we're excited about that. That is truly, in essence, community building. It is a community block party.
Yes.
I want to thank you guys. Absolutely. I want to thank you guys for being here today. We're going to continually talk and address the issues of community violence. This week, I will be down in Lansing, actually our entire team for training, CBI training. And I'm going to be on a panel with a guy, Big B, that did our conference here in Saginaw.
Shout out Big B.
Keep your ears to the grind. If you see something, say something. That number 888-298-1945. You've got to get involved. We need your voice and your thoughts at the table. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Grace each other. Grace and each other. Grace and peace. I killed that one.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on this show by the host, its guest, or call-ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station, the staff, its owners, connoisseur media, or its advertisers.
Broadcasting live from the KISS Gower Law Studios. Get the power of Gower. GowerLaw.com.